views and opinions expressed by the host of this show are his and his alone. They do not reflect those of this network, his employer, any of the universities he attended, his family and friends, or former roommates, any of the 5 Temptations, the 4 Tops, or any number of the Pips. They may or may not reflect those of the other voices in his head. His dog, however, agrees with him 100%. And now, broadcasting from Venture X Studios in Frisco, Texas, it's the Snarky Parenthetical. Here's your host. He's highly caffeinated and mildly irritated. Here's Lathan Watts.
All right, welcome to the Snarky Parenthetical. Glad you're all coming back. Going to jump right in today. We got a lot to cover today, so going to try to keep us moving. As you know, first segment, we usually talk about some things that have gone on during the week in the news that sort of piqued my interest. And so the first one I will jump right in with is just when you think that corporate America, like nobody can outdo the latest version of some corporation trying to virtue signal in some way and completely being tone deaf to their own customer base. Like just when you think the bar has been set so high by one company that nobody could ever top it, somebody else seems to come along and give it a shot. And this week, I think the winner is CMT, Country Music Television. Mm-hmm. Keep that in mind. Country Music Television decided to participate in a gun control campaign. Now, what I would like to have been a part of, just maybe a fly on the wall, was the conversation in some office/boardroom when this idea was pitched. It's like, Bill here has got a great idea. We really need to join, woke capitalism, and we really think we found the ideal way to do so. We really think, gun control is a, it's non-controversial. Nobody's going to really get bothered by this. So maybe we should do our virtue signaling by supporting a gun control effort. Anybody here think, any country music fans might have a problem with that? No? Okay, good. Let's go.
All clear.
Yeah. Shockingly, CMT viewers were not on board.
I looked up, the statistic was 95% of the live comments they were getting were disapproving.
So you're telling me there's a chance. 95-5 was the ratio. Country music television viewers, I know this is going to amaze our audience here. We're not on board with gun control. Now, where I'm from, gun control means aiming. Okay, gun control where I'm from means like take a deep breath, relax, have a good grouping on the target.
Exactly.
That's gun control, right? Shockingly, country music fans were not on board with gun control measures. Who would have thought it, Stan?
Right.
Apparently nobody at CMT.
I guess not. Yeah. They went a little brain dead on that one.
So there's that.
Yeah.
Right.
Very interesting. Yeah, it's just funny to me because it's obviously the kind of thing where you got all these other award shows that are bending over backwards to all the racial injustice and all these kind of messages, right?
Whatever the issue of the day is.
Exactly.
Right? It's really not even about the stance that they took for me. It is, why don't you just, why can't businesses just sell their product?
That's the thing, yeah.
Coca-Cola, just sell Coke.
Mm-hmm.
CMT, just sell crappy music. That's, I get it. It's a tough sell. You got a bad product. All right. Pop music with put on affected country accents.
Right.
Okay. That's a tough sell. I'll grant you that. But once you wade into some other issue, you are instantly going to alienate somebody, part of your customer base.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Why not just sell your stuff?
Sure.
I don't need you to tell me how to vote.
Yep.
Just
exactly.
Sell me the stuff I want to buy. If I don't want to buy it, I won't buy it from you. I'll buy it from somebody else. Or maybe I won't buy it at all because maybe I'm not your customer. But when did that become like, oh, no, we got to do more than that? Like, this is way too easy, just making a good product and selling it. Clearly, America needs us to tell them what to think on political issues.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, man. All right, so there's that. So that was going on this week. Here's another little headline that sort of grabbed my attention. This is from Newsweek. Okay, we handle the tough issues on this show.
That's
okay?
right.
Here's a little headline that got my attention. I'm going to read this word for word. This is the headline: Man in underwear scares grizzly bear away after pregnant goat goes missing. Now, if this is clickbait, it worked. Okay,
Yes.
I clicked. All right, I read that headline, and my initial reaction is, I need to know more about this. This man is somebody I want to have coffee with. Just be honest with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to meet this guy. Right, so
Kind of want to be best friends with him now.
yeah,
Right?
I mean, dude scared away a grizzly bear, like
That's a real
in
man.
his underwear.
Right?
Right? So, yeah, if it was clickbait, it worked. I clicked. All right. And here's my favorite part of this article. Was the first quote from this marvel of a man. Ben McGuffey, this was in Canada, outside of Vancouver, I think. So, he said, "When I realized I was standing there in my bare feet and my underwear with a bear 10 meters away, I questioned my sanity for a bit." For a bit. He paused for a second. He's like,
Right.
"Hey, I'm standing here in my underwear yelling at a bear." He questioned his own sanity for a bit, right? Not long. Like,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
like, okay,
Just a
maybe
momentary-
this might not be my best moment, or maybe it is. Like, he questioned it for a bit, and then got on with the business of scaring away a grizzly bear
Went right on.
while close to being naked, standing outside in nature, as one does.
Just another normal day in Vancouver, I guess.
Who knows, right? I mean, I get it. You got a pregnant goat goes missing. That's a big deal,
Gotta do what you gotta do.
right? Okay, but I was thinking about this on the drive over. It's like, you know what? I mean, even Jesus in the parable of the lost sheep didn't mention grizzly bears. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
I think the Lord would even give you a pass on that one. Like, I get it,
know
man.
what?
It's a pregnant goat. You take care of the goat, but that's a grizzly bear. And apparently, the tactic this guy used was just yelling at the bear, and then I think he threw a rock at it. Which I guess, because it's Canada, it's probably
Of
tough to
course.
own a gun. So maybe there's a new demographic for CMT.
There you go.
The Canadian rock-throwing grizzly bear hunter. He'll support your gun control effort.
It makes a lot of sense because it sounds like kind of a country thing to do.
A little bit.
They don't have those good old-fashioned gun-toting American values up there.
Apparently not. Right. So
There you go.
there's just a couple of headlines that, as I said, kind of got me thinking. Right. So hope you enjoyed those. This is the sort of news. Like I said, we cover the big
That's
stuff
right.
here, the hard news.
Only the most essential information.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move on. Our show today, sponsored by the Herget, Arkansas Chamber of Commerce. Herget, Arkansas, center of the universe. There's about 10 people are going to get that joke. And that's okay. Because they're good people. Because that's all that comes from Herget, Arkansas. I'll tell you that right now. That and cotton. All right, so. For the
Not a one of them tuning into the CMT Awards after this year.
No,
I can bet you that.
not at all. Not at all. No. So there you go. Herget, Arkansas, Chamber of Commerce, center of the universe. So let's move on. We have in studio with us, this is a Snarky Parenthetical first, our very first guest ever on the show.
That's
So all of you watching, listening can say hello to Daniel Workman. Daniel earned the honor of being the very first guest on the show because during the very first show, towards the end, I went on a little rant about almond milk, and that devolved into a smaller rant about Cheetos, and I said something on the air about if somebody could explain to me what Cheetos were or sort of identify the witch and or wizard that was responsible for creating them, that I would be happy to have them as the first guest on the show. And Daniel Workman replied with some information about Cheetos. So Daniel, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
you got the little info that you sent me?
Yeah, I can pull it up
handy.
right now.
All right. Daniel, I should say, also is he is the closest thing I have to a nephew in this life. His late father was my best friend, Kirk Workman, and I'm not near cool enough to hang out with this guy, but he's nice enough to let me hang out with him occasionally. He's got a mom and 2 sisters. I've got a wife and 2 daughters, so we understand what it means to be the only dude in the house. And sometimes dudes just need to get away, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So what did you find about Cheetos?
So it says Cheetos are manufactured by blending corn and water.
Okay, stop right there, because that's also the beginning of a really good whiskey recipe. Okay. So I have an idea that the reason Cheetos are as addictive as they are is part of the process is similar to making whiskey and or moonshine. Don't ask me how I know that. Okay, Daniel, you're not here for that. Okay, we don't need to get into that. I am from Arkansas, all right? And you got family from Arkansas, so don't judge, because there's probably people in your family know how to make moonshine. All right?
Wouldn't be surprised.
All right. All right. Now we're getting into it. All right.
Seems like this theory has some validity.
I think it does. I think it does.
We're onto something here.
So go ahead.
It says the germ of the corn is removed to prevent spoiling. The germless corn is then ground into cornmeal. Because the cornmeal lacks the nutrients provided by the germs, it is enriched
Shocking, by the way, that Cheetos lack nutrients.
Yeah.
I know that was a surprise to you.
Yeah.
No one saw that one coming.
It says it is enriched by adding nutrients in order to increase its nutritional value.
Oh.
Wait a second.
Yeah? So there is some nutritional
Wait
value
a
to
second.
Cheetos.
I guess so.
In addition to them being magic and orange-dusted goodness,
Yeah.
there apparently is some sort of nutritional value. So let me ask you this. Before you heard the rant, what did you think Cheetos were?
Cheese slapped on some weird chip that was produced in a factory. That's what I thought.
Yeah. So you were shocked, as most people probably are, to understand that Cheetos are not actually made from cheese. It's just cheese dust over this corn substance.
Yeah. I mean, I felt robbed when I found out that it's not made from cheese.
Your childhood's over,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. It was like, it's official. I'm a cynic now.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Everyone has that one moment in their life that's like,
Yeah, that was it.
now the world isn't fairies and unicorns anymore.
Exactly. So in a weird way, I'm proud I contributed to that.
There you go.
That tells you more about me than you need to know.
Making cynics.
Yeah, that's what we
Out
do
of us
here.
all.
Exactly. Corrupting the youth of America. That's going to be the new tagline for the show.
I like it. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Just get rid of that. But, yep.
Yeah. We'll just add to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you somebody else who was probably accused of corrupting the youth of America is this guy over my shoulder right here. We got our first. There we go.
Yep.
There he is.
The man in black, Johnny Cash, also a great Arkansan. I don't know if he ever played Herget or not, but he probably passed through there
Probably.
at some point.
Yeah.
Right.
You'd imagine. In his younger days,
Yeah, exactly.
Coming up.
Some of those those sort of kind of like barnstorming tours, those first tours that he was on, the bill, right? Like there were like 4 or 5 acts, that would go around, play all these places throughout the South. Imagine if you had been at this concert, okay? Because you had Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis,
Ooh.
and occasionally, I think, who was the 4th guy? But just those 3, like they were playing the same shows.
That's insane.
Cash,
About.
Elvis, and Jerry Lee Lewis.
And there were people going to those shows just like just another weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, let's go see
guess.
They get these young guys coming through town. Let's go see who's playing. Oh, these guys will never last.
Yeah.
This new wave rockabilly. What do they call this music? Nah. Yeah, this is going nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Kids these days.
Exactly. You like Johnny Cash, I know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Daniel's got
there
good
we
taste
go.
in music.
Okay. Maybe there is some hope for the youth of America.
Yeah,
Corrupting them the right way.
Exactly. Right. It's all about balance, right?
Yeah.
All things in moderation, right?
There you go.
Make him cynical about all processed food products, but also contribute to his musical education. I feel like I've done my good deed for today. What do you think, Daniel?
I think, yeah, good job.
All right. There you go. What else do we need, right?
There you go.
All right.
Now, one question. Will this new information stop any of us from eating Cheetos?
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I'm with you right
Yeah.
there. I couldn't
that's
care less
unanimous.
what's in there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. It wouldn't matter what you told me those things were made of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, it's happening no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. So, Daniel, I think you might be, I don't know, like the official researcher for the show going forward.
I can take that title.
All right.
Yep.
All right. We add that to your resume.
All right.
Yep.
Yep.
That's gonna come in handy in job interviews. What experience do you have? Well, there's this crazy guy who does a podcast, and when he rants about something he doesn't understand, I try to help him understand. Like, I mean, if you want to go into therapy, maybe.
Yeah, it sounds professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I can see it happening. The right kind of employer, right? They're gonna blow right over the everyone takes their 4 years, but I know this show because I've heard of it because it's going places.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, I told him, it's like,
And-
don't be nervous about the tens of people that will be watching you.
Yeah, a lot of pressure.
Exactly. The good thing is this will be preserved for posterity. So
Yep.
you'll be able to someday, when you are actually famous for something, hopefully bringing some good to the world, you can be able to show this to your kids someday.
This is
Like,
where
hey,
it started.
Look at this weirdo that I was hanging out with when I was a teenager. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, Daniel, it's great to have you on. I do like the idea of you being the show's official researcher. So in the future, you hear me spouting off about something and you're like, hey, yeah, just Google it, dude. Here you go. Like, send me
Yep.
some stuff. We may bring you back on here to discuss your findings. And I'll task you with if you can find anything about how CMT came up with the decision to support,
I'll be
support
on it.
gun control.
I'll be on it, yeah.
Or if you can track down Ben McGuffey of Vancouver, Canada, and we'll have a conversation with him about warding off bears in your underwear without a gun.
Yep. Well, me and Mom will be stalking them on Facebook later.
I'll tell you what. That would be an interview. I think that if we're looking to get on the map for real, that's the way to
That's
do it
one
right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We'll see if we can get this guy. All right.
Grizzly bear underwear guy.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, glad to have you as the first guest.
Thanks for having
me. Anytime. If you got anything that you want to toss out or any questions for me while you got here, we got a couple minutes left in this segment, so fire away.
I don't know. What was the first concert you went to?
Oh, good question.
That's a good one.
First one I went to, I think I was about 3 or 4 years old, and my parents went to see the Oak Ridge Boys in Memphis, Tennessee, and they brought me. And I was a huge fan. I mean, I'd listen to them, in the truck with Dad and all that. And we had the 45s and everything else.
Yep.
And I have a really, really vague memory of it. But according to my parents, the people sitting around us were quite impressed at my knowledge of the lyrics and me standing in the chair singing along with every song. So it started early, my penchant for remembering song lyrics. So yeah, that's a
Ridge
good
Boys.
question. Yeah, exactly. That was like early 80s when you had the sort of transition of these gospel groups into country, so you had like the Oak Ridge Boys, the Statler Brothers, the Gatlin Brothers, really good
Gatlin Brothers,
harmonies,
yep.
all of that stuff, like good country music as opposed to what CMT plays, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, Daniel. Let's move on.
right.
Let's get into final segment of the day where, and stick around, you don't have to go anywhere. But final segment of the day is always where I sort of talk about just some things that I find mildly irritating. And I'd like to call sort of this category of topics, if I could put a name on it, I would just call it, we're living in a society, right? Like there's a reason why fill in the blank is not okay. Okay. So
Right.
this is sort of the first of what may be many because we're living in a society. Okay.
Right.
And it has to do with cell phones and appropriate places and or inappropriate places to take a phone call. Okay, and top of the list for me as far as an inappropriate place to take a phone call would be when you are seated on a toilet in a bathroom stall in a public bathroom. All right, and this happened to me. All right, not that I took the call, but I was present when somebody did this. And my first, okay, here's the deal, right? Like, if you want to mix your social life with your bowel movements in your own bathroom, in your home, that's your business, okay? But once you come out into public, we are living in a society, okay? And there are things that separate us from the savages, and I think this should be one of them. I mean, when I'm in my backyard and I happen to just, walk up and my dog is doing his thing, even he, turns around and looks at me like, not now, dude. Like, come on. Like,
Let me do my thing in peace. Yep.
But this guy takes a phone call seated on the toilet in a stall in a public restroom. All right. And my first thought is, who do you think you are, LBJ?
Right.
Like, LBJ, who was rumored to have approved some airstrikes in North Vietnam from the throne room, shall we say, while he was dropping a couple of bombs of his own. Unless you're LBJ, you are not important enough to take a phone call on the toilet. Neither is the guy or girl who's calling you. They're not that important either.
Absolutely.
You can wait a few minutes and step out into another public space that is more acceptable for taking a phone call. So, so my instant reaction, yes, number one is, unless LBJ is in the stall next to me, there's no way this is okay.
Right.
So then what am I going to do about this? Because I can't just let this go. Right. I can't. All right. And so just fair warning for those of you, I should have said this at the top of the segment. Fair warning if you don't like bathroom humor, because here comes some, right? I find it funny, and we're going to talk about it. My instant reaction was to try to fart as loud as I possibly could while this guy was on the phone.
Seems logical.
Because I want the person on the other end of the phone to know where he's taking this phone call
There you
from.
go.
Okay. And if that didn't stop it, and it didn't, so then I moved on to, all right, sort of a fictional kind of play-by-play account of what could be going on in the stall next to him, right? Not to say that it was, okay? I'm not that transparent to say this is what I was doing, right? But I thought, maybe if the person on the other end of the phone heard sort of a play-by-play account of what was going on, it might tip them off as to what is, the setting for this phone call, right? And so I launched into a fictional play-by-play of what could be going on in the stall next to him. This is based on an actual account, not of my own, of a college friend of mine. I don't want to out him, but his initials are William Marquardt of Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, there it is.
So I launch into a monologue, okay, and it went a little something like this. I'm not going to yell it at the same volume that I did in this public bathroom because there's a sensitive microphone equipment here, but it went basically something along the lines of, "Oh, get out of my colon! Why will this not get out of my colon? When did I swallow a pine cone? It's like giving birth to a porcupine in here." And then, I've said before, like how I have sort of like breathing, I start quoting movie lyrics. So I started quoting Will Ferrell in Talladega Nights, like, "Help me, Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Help me, Oprah Winfrey. Help me, Jewish God. Like, I don't understand why this won't come out of my colon. Yes, my colon." And I finished it off with, "I do not remember eating that." And right around then is when I finally heard the guy go, "I'm going to have to call you back." Which for me was, okay, mission accomplished, right?
Exactly.
And I just walked out of the bathroom. So
there you go.
You need to know out there, like, if you're in a public bathroom, you decide to take a phone call in the stall, it's on.
Yeah.
Right? It's on. Why? Because we live in a society.
This is a civilization.
This is a civilization. And there are rules, written or unwritten, to what separates us from uncivilized people. And that is one of them, I think. And if not, it should be. Okay? In my world, it is. And if you happen to cross into my world,
beware.
beware. Exactly. because I'm not above launching into a fictional monologue about what's going on. Okay.
I really feel like I need to see this play out at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, there's way too many of these people you're talking about.
I mean, some things you just gotta. Sometimes you just gotta take a stand, right?
Exactly.
Or a squat in this
Yes.
scenario, as it may be.
That's the case, maybe.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're just not that important, man. You're just not. Nor is the guy or girl on the other end of the phone. It's a few minutes. Call them back, right?
They can wait.
They can wait. Now,
And everyone else can too.
yes, exactly. Because everybody else in there is now put in an awkward position. It's in a semi-private location where you would like a little bit of, the degree of privacy and if not dignity. Okay.
Right.
And now you feel pressured, unless you're like me. But now these other people feel pressured not to indicate that he's in the bathroom. Right. Like they
just ignore.
Right. And that's not good.
Like it's all normal.
That's not good for you. That can't be good for your digestive health. There's no way.
Of course not.
I'm sure there's bound to be medical research on this. There's something for you to research.
Oh,
Daniel.
there you go.
Right.
Yep.
Yep. So, come on, man.
Just make it wait, and if not, we got some people coming after you now.
I mean, I want to deputize everybody who watches this
thinking.
and hears this at some point, that feel free to join civilization and the defense of it,
taking a collective stand slash squat, I guess, right?
whatever the case may be, right? Whatever you have to do, right? Because otherwise, I mean, it's the beginning of the end, right? I mean, this is
beginning of barbarianism. That's how you know,
right? I mean, what's the barbarians at the gate? Like this is like the barbarian in the stall.
At the stall,
right? Like that's it, right? And the forces of civilization must stand for good, right?
That's right.
So that's my charge to you all for today. We are making the world a better place here at the Snarky Parenthetical on the
Tackling the
JPK
tough
network.
issues.
That's right. That's what we do here. That's what we do here. So, Stan, any big weekend plans?
Well, for me, not a whole lot. I just got through having to play every single day at my church this past week. Had to play the drums for about 500 screaming kids.
Right.
For our VBS program.
Yeah. Always known for their rhythm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Took a little
VBS,
extra
the VBS crowd. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clapping on one. Yeah.
Notorious.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow that seems to follow them around church to church. They just can't get it right.
Yeah.
No matter how hard. Yeah.
So you deserve a weekend off.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Lay around, not do much. That's all right.
Kind of take it easy. That's
all right.
That's my plan.
Daniel, any big plans for this weekend? You just got back from a big trip, so you're probably just hanging out too, right?
Church.
Good for you.
Probably eating at Whataburger one
Good
time.
boy. Yep. He's
got to.
Of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then probably just chilling at home.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah. Good deal.
Yep.
Glad to know you're going to church. Probably put in a word.
Are you talking about Whataburger or? Oh, church, and then
actual
you went to
church.
Whataburger.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actual church, and then the church of meat. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. He and his mom are probably adding me to the prayer list right now. Mom's sitting over there rethinking her parenting style.
Right.
She's like, I cannot believe I brought my son to this. All right. So,
Oh man.
my weekend plans include getting together with some law school alumni, some Ole Miss folks. Looking forward to seeing them. And
Good people.
yeah, good people, funny people. I might eventually have one or two of them on the show. Daniel's the first guest because he earned it for sure. We will probably have some other guests on here. Probably not celebrities because frankly I don't know any. And I don't really find them that interesting. Like I want to talk to people that I find interesting and or inspiring and or funny. Like that's what I want the show to be. We probably
There you
missed
go.
on the inspirational part today.
Different kind of inspirational.
But you never know. Might have inspired somebody else to taunt someone in a bathroom stall. So I
Doing the
think
Lord's
we have
work.
done enough damage for the day. I want to thank everybody for coming back and checking us out here on the JPK network. Thanks to everybody involved there. Thanks to Stan the Man. Daniel, thanks for being here. Weston, everybody at JPK. Thank you all. Have a good weekend. We will see you next week.